29. What do you think? 19, I mean.
C.
19, letter C, correct. Number 20. Number 20. In this part,
D.
in this part, we don't need verb. So past simple wrong, future simple wrong, present simple wrong, present participle phrase correct. And remember the structure: complete sentence, comma, present participle phrase. Full stop correct. This is the sentence, and then comma, in present participle phrase. That's all, my friends. Right, so letter C. 21.
A.
Letter A correct, yes, for present simple tense, perfect. 22.
B.
Letter B for past, correct. 23. Here we have non-essential information, so we need letter C, right? Here we have comma. So he said here the compounds that provide. So this is part of non-essential information. So we need comma. That's right. Now 24. It must be letter A. Why? Number one, we don't need any position structure here. So why do we have apostrophe? Wrong. Because we are not talking about the audience of musician. Here we need subject. Here we need verb. So Joseph and Hawaii musicians introduced. So subject, verb, and an object. So letter A correct. 25.
25 is D.
No, letter B. Remember the structure as I told you. Subordinated conjunction at the beginning. You need two clauses joined by a comma. But here it's called the reduced clause. We don't have the subject because it's the same subject. So we need comma. Here in this clause, we delete the subject. Why? Because the same subject of second clause. Subject, verb, complement, subject, verb, complement. The same subject. So we can delete it and use it direct. So who was filming? Howie. So we need comma. No double conjunction. So it's wrong. Here no commas, here no commas. So letter B. The structure between two clauses, and you must check that you have two clauses or not. So we have two clauses only at the end of the sentence. So we need comma only, not double conjunction in the middle again. So letter B. 26.
26. Where?
So 26, no. Must be letter D. Why? Because your subject is in here, gerund. Your subject is gerund. Simply follow the rules. Delete the phrases. Delete, and then delete the relative clauses. Look, as I told you, delete the phrases, delete the relative clauses, delete the non-essential to find the subject and verb quickly. So your subject is a gerund, and the gerund always singular. If you are confused, you must follow the hack, but this is risk. 3 singular delete, 3 plural delete. Here, plural, plural, plural. 3 plural delete. It shows the other one. Okay? Right. Now, your turn. Number 30 is,
Okay. Instead.
so letter C.
Yes.
Letter C is correct. Here, similarly means the previous idea, this one, it's similar to the following idea after. Do you imagine it? He said in
Yes.
mono, in a labor mono. So it's similar in ideas. Instead means like instead of using the previous idea, we need to follow the ideas. Like alternative, like option. Instead of going to the concert, we can stay at home. But it's not opposite. Not opposite. So letter B is wrong. How about number, let's make it in order, why not? 27, what's yours?
However.
However, contrast, no. This is the previous idea, and that is the following idea. What is the relation? Contrast, no, it's an example. Let's read. The artist uses wire thread to sculpt her hair into all kinds of shapes. And then explain. She once in the past made her hair into the shape of the continent of Africa. So we'll give you what is example of the shapes. So there is no contrast, so letter D is wrong. Soon means like sequence of action. This action happened before that? No. Elsewhere it means the action of two happened in time or place of one. He didn't mention elsewhere, so be wrong. So always find the sentences of the relationship. Come on, 28.
28. D.
Why not to be A? I said later. So this means sequence of actions. In January of that year, she won. In April, she wrote. So that means sequence of actions. Rather means contrast, like however, but there is no contrast between the ideas. In other words, means similarity. He is going to explain the same idea again? No. Is an example? No, of course. It's different ideas. So we have sequence of actions. So later, as you know, like soon, after time, this way. Number 29 must be letter D. He said here, then, so after that, after they die. So when alive, these tiny marine organisms absorb. After they die, look, the sequence. After that, we don't have contrast, so B and C is wrong. Specifically, we are not talking about something mentioned before and then specifically about it. So it does not make sense. So letter A is wrong. Right, my dear? So letter D it is correct. So then mention the event described in the sentence before occurs later. So we are talking about chronological sequence of actions, order of actions. So letter D is correct. Right, my dear friend. Now let me answer the next one to know how and to remind you. For number 31, we always ask you for a target in the questions. Be careful about it. You want to show contrast the purposes of the two maps. So your answer must show contrast and the purposes of both of them. Now I can answer without reading. Without reading the notes, I can answer without reading. Now we need to find which sentence mentions contrast. So go for it.
This one is C.
We found while. So while used to show contrast, and he mentioned the two purposes: the opening introduce and the closing allows. So contrast, and we show the purpose of the two maps. And letter B, we don't have any language of contrast, just like the novel features, as well as we explain what the novel is included. Here he mentioned, he mentioned, okay, we have opening and closing, but where is the language of contrast like while? We need language of contrast like while, in contrast, by contrast, so there is no language. That means here letter A is correct. That's all. Let me show you something else. Without reading the notes, I can answer. Look, he wants to specify the reason. So we need the reason only. Which sentence shows the reason, the language of reason? This is the point. Let's read together very quickly. So here, just like explaining, there is no language of reason, but wait. Here, wanted to plant. This is the goal, but wait. Now we know the reason the Mayflower Compact was created, why it was created, to establish. So to plus infinitive express purpose. So it was created why? To establish a common government among the algorithms. But here these signatures wanted to plan. I'm talking about the question itself. So letter C is the best answer. So don't worry about the notes because all of them already in the answers. And don't worry about the test maker. He will not change any content. He just organize information. But the problem with the question. Again, the one without reading the notes. The students wants to make generalization and the support. So we need generalization idea and the evidence. So we ask you for two targets, make, support. So if we ask you for two targets, don't expect the answer to be short like that. So it must be longer. Look for lines, but we need to read. Look for letter D. For example, honeybees are more likely to thrive in cities than rural. Why? Because this is support. We give reason. We have fact and reason. So letter D. Yes or no? Don't worry about the information. All of them same in the points. But wait. Look for letter C. The strength depends on what the bees eat. And the fair diet is. So where is the support? You give me two facts. Strength depends on, and the fair diet is more valuable. Where is the supporting of it? We need evidence. So no evidence. He gives you only generalization. We need both. He said and. Here the same again. In urban areas will survive. Okay, what is the evidence? Look, whereas this is comparison between 2 points, but there is no evidence in one of them. Wrong. Here again, cities tend to have a wider range. Right. But where is the evidence? So now you must understand what kind of support evidence. We need statistics, we need reasons, we need quotations in ways of scientific evidence. And I'm going to send you notes today to know more about the evidence. That's all, my dear friend. Understood?